Hello, my name is Alan, and I'll be showing you all this Pokemon damage calculator that I made in Java using Eclipse. So the first part of this calculator is converting a string of words into an array where each index of the array is a different word. And how this is done is first converting the string into lowercase and removing the spaces at the beginning and end. And then an array list is created to store the words of the string in. This while loop takes the string and splits it up by word and spits each word into a different index in the array list, and then removes that word from the string, and this loop continues until the string is fully split up and then the last word is added to the array list, and then it's returned. So I made a demonstration so you can see how this works, and if I just run the code real quick, it'll show how this string right here, which is 3 words, has been split up into an array list with 3 different words in it. And then this other code right here takes this sentence and splits it up into an array list, then spits out each word in the sentence on a different line. So as you can see, the sentence is here, and then each word is split up in the console output. So this part of the code is used to represent the type list or the type chart with a bunch of hash maps. And what a hash map does is it allows you to assign any value to another value. In this case, I wanted to store a string and have it output another string. So this is useful for storing the information of each of the types, like what they're weak to, neutral to, strong against, or immune to. And this part of the code is just typing out all of the data that each type contains. This part of the code right here is to return the values that I've typed out in the previous wall of text up here, and it does that by taking in the type and the data that you want from it. So the rest of the code is just manipulating the data that I've already shown you, except for this part. This part creates a multiplier from the data, and this is actually where the calculation begins, because the way multipliers work in Pokemon are that if a type is strong against another type, it'll deal double damage, but if a type is weak against another type, it'll deal half damage. So since you can have 2 types in Pokemon, there can be 4 times effective or 4 times resisted moves, or just 2 times versus different Pokemon. So this function right here will just spit out a multiplier that determines the amount of damage you'll be doing versus another Pokemon based on their type. So if I just run this code right here, this is a demonstration that shows the possible offensive coverage options of these 2 types, Ice and Electric, and it shows which types at least one of these can hit for super effective, resisted, or no damage, as well as the neutral coverage that at least one of these has. And this 0.0 right here is the result of the multiplier function on a ghost type attack versus a normal type Pokemon, and since normal is immune to ghosts, it'll deal 0 damage. So this is the actual calculator, and what this does is it creates a Pokemon with all the statistics that a Pokemon has, and then it'll set the statistics of the Pokemon, and these are just return functions, so I can get back the values that I put in. And then it'll come down here to this part, which is the actual calculator. So it'll take the target Pokemon, its type, the power of the move, the accuracy, like in case you miss you'll do no damage, the attack stat of the attacking Pokemon, the defense stat of the target Pokemon, and then it'll use a bunch of multipliers that are part of the official Pokemon damage calculation and spit it into this part right here, which calculates the damage that a Pokemon deals based on a lot of different variables. But among those are the type matchup, which involves the multiplier function, and the statistics of the Pokemon, which we've previously entered. So down here is a setup with two Pokemon. One is hitting the other one with an electric type move with a 90 base power and 100 accuracy. It's called Thunderbolt. And the other Pokemon is hitting the first Pokemon with a 120 base power fighting move, which is called Close Combat. So if we run this code, might take a bit. If we run this code and it actually loads, we'll see two damage values. There it is. Each of these is a possible value of damage that the first and second Pokemon can deal versus each other using these attacks. So we can check this with the actual Pokemon damage calculator to see if we get close. So as you can see, the first Pokemon is actually this attack, can deal 318 to 374 damage, and we got 325, which is really close to this 324 possibility right here. So this is most likely due to a rounding error, just based on the way Java rounds and the way that the Pokemon games round, but that's pretty good. For our second attack, we got 185, and the possible damage values are 178 to 210. 185 is right in between this 184 and 186, so that's pretty good. It's mostly due to small rounding errors. But yeah, thanks for sitting through this, and if you enjoyed, that's pretty cool.